Are we rolling?
Really?
And we're rolling.
Okay, my first question is, so remember when we were talking about like how you came out,
Right.
and you told me that you didn't actually have to come out, like it wasn't a come out
situation
for you. You
Right.
never actually had to sit your head down and be like, yo.
Yeah, I didn't, but at some point I had to make my mom aware of what was actually going on with me.
Okay, and explain to me.
There was a time where I was kind of, wow, that was too early for me to be depressed, but I believe I was going through a time of not feeling good for like a couple of days, for like a long time.
Like a long time, yeah.
So my mom at the time had asked me what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked her that it was because of this boy who was giving me a hard time in school.
Yeah.
Not a hard time in a sense of bullying me,
like
no.
bullying.
No. We were in a relationship situation and then he decided to end the relationship. So I was like sad for a couple of days. I was like 13, I was in grade 7.
Okay.
So things were still new, like type of thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I had to explain what was going on to her because she was asking me, what's going on, babe, like you not yourself. So I had to tell her that actually I'm heartbroken because this guy blah 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 and all those things. And then I had to, but the way that I did it, I wrote a letter to my mom.
Her?
Yes, and I put it on a nightgown.
Did you know, or did you feel like writing a letter to her, like what you felt is bad? You know, because some people don't feel like you aren't immediately going to attach to the label gay.
Right.
Did you immediately attach to the label gay, or
I did.
it was just you did?
I did, because being a kid, people would tease me and say, were you gay and all those things that like other terms I would use. So already they made me understand myself and what it meant before anyone else. So by the time I told my mom about it, I wrote a letter.
Yeah.
To me it was pretty clear, and also I was really like old.
Yeah.
I already dated a couple of guys, so I knew what that meant. So I wasn't old, but I was a kid, but I already knew what the whole thing meant. Do you understand?
Yeah, I do.
So I wrote the letter to her, and I told her that actually, sis, I was seeing this guy and it broke my heart, so blah blah blah. And then my mom was like, well, I didn't know you were gay. She said, no, lying. She said, I knew you were gay, I just wasn't sure that this thing is a phase or it's a thing. But now that you already confirming it for yourself, then it means it's not a phase. It's not a phase. Okay. It's a thing, because you've been feeling these type of feelings for a while, according to you.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, well, she was like, well, I accept you, you're my baby, all those things.
Yeah.
But the most funniest thing she said to me, I have a gay friend at work.
Yeah.
And please don't do crazy things.
Which means?
Which means don't put on makeup, don't do anything that would make your face
more
look
gay.
Right. So at the time, I think she was still adjusting to it. She wasn't, I don't know what was going on in her head, but I could tell that she was still adjusting to the situation, that actually my baby is like this. I mean, I was a kid, heavens. So she didn't want me to be doing crazy things that gay people do. She was like, please don't wear dresses, please. And I don't know, but when I started wearing makeup, it was the opposite. She was pretty accepting of it. She was like, okay, you look good. I mean, I wasn't perfect at it. I knew she was lying to me. But that on its own actually was a confirmation that actually this bitch rides with me.
Oh,
you understand?
wow. Yeah,
so yeah, that was the thing.
Yeah.
I didn't struggle with it as much. But also, when I started wearing makeup full time, I think I was afraid.
Of? I'd also be afraid.
I was afraid of...
If I was in your shoes.
I was afraid of how my other family members would receive me.
Hmm.
With my mom, I didn't care. I mean,
Obviously, yeah.
yeah, but also I would still, I wasn't fully comfortable having my face on in front of her. Because I had to adjust myself, and I had to adjust to a lot of my relatives and all those things.
And how's that now?
I mean, it's completely changed. It's way different than when I started. Because when I started, sis, it was a journey for me. I wasn't as comfortable next to my grandma. She gave me eyes, honey. She would
Really?
look at, not in a bad way, but she wasn't.
She was just confused.
She didn't know what to say. She would see me wearing mascara. She would see me having a foundation that's lighter than my skin color at the time, and I thought I was the most beautiful thing ever. And she would ask, what do you have on your face? What is that thing? But like, I legit said, it's foundation. And then I left. And I literally didn't have to come out to anyone else.
After that.
Not even after that. People could see. You know, people see you and they just decide for you.
Yeah.
So I was so
And you're cool with that?
I was like, yeah, sure. I mean,
yeah.
whatever. It was more easier for me because people saw how I was and they immediately adjusted to that. Yeah.
They didn't like find the necessity to ask
you. To ask me that, am I gay? I don't... Also, someone who asks me that, it doesn't sit in a natural way. Because it's a question that I never had to answer before. I've never been answered, like I've never been asked that question that, are you gay? People just figure it out. You understand? So imagine someone coming to me, as fabulous as I am, as proud as I am, and someone coming to me and saying, are you gay? It's like...
So what is the shock?
The shock is...
The label.
Not the labels, like, can't you see?
Oh.
Type of thing. So I would expect...
I love that.
I'd expect everyone to just automatically see it and be like, aha. Do you understand? I don't want people asking me about it. So I want you to figure it out. I never felt the need to explain what I am or who I am or whatever that is.
So you were telling me about like how you beat your face and stuff. Explain to me, and then would you ever beat your face like that and go to CBD?
I would never beat my face and go to CBD.
Reasons?
I'm scared for my life. I've seen my closest friends go through the most because of the...
Face beats or...
Not even. Maybe some face beats, yes. But terrible things have happened to my friends. Do you understand? And I feel like they were a mirror for me to see that actually I am myself, yes, I am comfortable, yes. However, there are spaces that are still not as safe for my people.
Such a horrible situation.
It is, because then you always need to think of where you're going, who's going to be there, what type of people are going to be there. Do I be myself? Do I pretend to be a straight male so that I can fit into it? Or you basically have to play with your mind. You just juggle feelings and you juggle things and you juggle thoughts, and you need to come to a conclusion of, do I want to be safe or do I want to take a risk and look like myself or whatever? And I mean, bashing is a thing. I told you this. People have experienced it and I don't want to go through it. So
and the bashing is explain to me what exactly the bashing is.
So bashing is basically, it happens, it's like males normally who never want to see other males being gay, or I don't know what to call it, but basically they would hit you. Literally they would hurt you. One of my friends, they broke his leg, I think this February, they broke his leg.
Like last month?
Yes, literally last month. They broke his leg and his arm, and it was a bunch of guys. Literally, he was just walking. He didn't even do anything. Some people say
makeup wasn't done.
nothing was done. He doesn't even wear makeup. He was just literally walking.
And even that shouldn't even be like it shouldn't even be a trigger. We shouldn't even say things like his makeup was done and
You understand?
like they hit him. Like that shouldn't be a thing.
But it is.
Yeah.
It is. That's why I'd never wear makeup knowing that I'm going downtown.
Yeah.
I'd never do that. I'd rather wear makeup knowing that I'm just going to school and back to my place. I'd never even go inside a taxi with the makeup. Do you understand? Because I need to adjust with the environment that I'm in order for me to be comfortable like that first. So, yeah, it's a thing.
So what's your type? Let's explain. Tell me your type.
You mean in relation?
And males.
In males,
like
listen.
your favorite, like, number one.
Wow. I love manly men. Because I'm just a soft baby. I just like the entire thought of I'm very feminine. Not super feminine. I am feminine in my own ways and other people are like that.
Yeah.
So even in homosexuality there is heteronormativity in it. Does that make sense? You basically, that's why I say I need a manly man.
So there's like a feminine,
there's like a top and a bottom, that type of thing.
Yeah.
But I want my top to be really top.
Like really manly man.
Really manly man. So in my past dating experiences, I've had manly men.
Yeah.
So maybe it's because of that I'm still kind of like, well, I'm in love with this.
Okay, so explain to me how it works. So how you've experienced some sort of like shame. You felt shame. You felt like someone was ashamed to be around you because you're so openly and obviously gay when people see you.
So I was seeing this guy, not really seeing, but we were vibing. We were doing some things together and we were starting to do some things and we were really comfortable with each other. But also, this was in a safe space.
You were comfortable with each other just in a safe space. Explain that.
In a space where people knew about him.
Okay.
But not everyone knew about him, but in a space where he could literally be himself.
Yeah.
No questions asked.
So he was with you where in a place where he felt like it was a safe space.
Yeah, right, because there were many of us, so
many gay
people, right.
Okay.
So this was a space where he could literally be himself without anyone asking anything.
Yeah.
You understand? So fine, we were like vibing, had a situation going on.
Yeah.
And until one time I was waiting for him. I can't really say where. Yeah. Because they would pick up.
The people.
I don't want to give you what's this now? I don't want to make you famous. Because your people will leave you. Anyway. So we were out of this comfort space now. But here's the thing. When we were walking in a safe space still, not really safe, but a safe space, he wouldn't give me any vibes until we got to a point where we were like hanging out outside, and then few of his friends, not friends, but few of the people that we knew came over, and he kind of like switched off. He started not talking as much as he was. He wasn't laughing as he was, and basically he was addressing me in a very masculine way now.
And less of a like less of what?
I mean, we were intimate before this.
Yeah.
Intimate in our conversation, not really touching each other or whatever. But the conversation was pretty intimate, and
like you're sweet, like
we were sweet talking each other, like those type of things. You get vibes seeing us together until people started showing up and he was behaving in some sort of way.
And which people are these people that are supposedly, you say that they're supposedly in his safe space, like supposedly what he would call a safe space, or no?
No, yes, they were in the same space, those people, but also these were people who were unsure about him.
So he wasn't.
So he wasn't quite out, but he was comfortable. You understand?
these people.
With everyone else. So to him, for them to see us together was kind of
solidify their
Yeah.
what he thinks would be their assumptions.
you understand type of thing. So, and that was not the only situation I was involved in. I mean, there are a couple of others that I can really think of on top of my head right now. But also when that thing happened, it was like an aha moment for me, because it was like, oh, you're not the first one to behave this way when you see people or do certain things. Because we literally had this conversation, me and my friend. We're like, but why are we single? It's not even about being single, but we'd ask ourselves, why are we single? Why when we go out? Because we'd go out, the three of us, and me and him are like wearing makeup and all those things. And one of our friends doesn't really wear makeup, doesn't wear makeup at all. He's very masculine-ish, but also he's bottom like us and everything. So we'd ask ourselves, why don't we get approached? Why don't we think of this? Why don't we think of that?
So it's even a matter of approach, like in clubs and things like that.
Oh yes, people, they look, you know what? They just look.
Joking.
I'm not joking, they just look, maybe admire from a distance, or laugh, or I don't know what they do, but we would never, legit, though we three of us, we would never, me and my friend would never get approached, but one of our friends will get approached because he doesn't wear makeup, very masculine looking, and I mean, he gets approached and we not. So it was an issue, not really much of an issue, but it happened every single time we went out. So we'd ask ourselves, why aren't we the ones getting picked on? I mean, we're the one putting in the hard work and looking pretty in the face and our outfits and everything. Not that we really want to be seen, but we really want to look good.
We want to feel good, yeah, because we're looking good.
You feel good,
Yeah.
you understand? So it was kind of like, we concluded, me and him.
Yeah.
And it's so crazy because we had the same thoughts in mind. Then it solidified the fact that I'm not crazy thinking these things, because he was like, I think because we intimidate people, we come off as too strong for them. We come off as too out there for them. So they tend to say that we are too much. We are really out there for them. We are basically, we're just exposing them in ways that they don't want to be exposed into, they don't want to be seen into. So it was like, well, that's what it is. That's that. I mean, we cannot now not wear makeup, start wearing manly in order for us to
The approach, but like it's not you.
That's not me. That's exactly what I said to my friend. But like, that's not us. The right things and the right people will come, no matter what, no matter how you look like. They'll be proud of it. I mean, I once had that in my life, and I believe it can come back.
You were telling me about being laughed at. Like now you mentioned being laughed at. Explain exactly what you mean.
Being what?
Being like people are laughing. People who laugh. So when you say people who laugh, you mean like when you wear makeup and people laugh at you. That's what you mean.
Yeah, well, people laugh because some feel like, and it's so crazy. Sometimes we get laughed by our own people. They just look at you and they laugh.
Gay people.
Gay people. So you never know what they laugh at. It's either they're laughing at you wearing makeup, or they're thinking in their head that you're trying too much, or I don't know. It's always a different thought with different people. But we get laughed a lot. Someone could just see you and then literally they just laugh. So it's just like, well, you know exactly what they're laughing about. I mean, you can never be straight and then you walk past and then someone starts laughing. Unless something's going on with your hair or whatever. But in these cases, you see a bunch of guys and a bunch of girls also. They're literally,
really?
Yes, girls are also homophobic. It's crazy. But they just like, they would laugh at you for you maybe wearing makeup, you wearing revealing jeans and stuff like that, or whatever the case may be. But they look at you and they laugh at you, just as like, okay, well.
I can't remember that one.
Don't be
Having a makeup gasm.
I know. She's having a makeup gasm.